Hey, you're listening to WHUS stores, and I'm here today with Matty and Sam of Pony. We're calling from Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Toronto. And
Thank you,
yeah, we're
sir.
gonna talk about their new release. Well, not really new now. It's like almost like 8 months
Mhm.
uh old. But also like their uh trajectory as artists and like all that good stuff. Probably not gonna be like super different from like other press stuff that they've done, but yeah. So I don't really have like a script, but like I'm gonna like wing it. Yeah. So like if you guys could just like talk about like how this current formation of Pony came to be, and like how uh when you Sam like like back when that was like was that was more of like a solo project, like how it like evolved from being like that to like a more like collaborative like effort, like how did that uh just come to be?
Yeah, so Pony kind of started out as like a collaborative band with me and a few friends back in like 2015. Um, but as stuff progressed and things moved forward, people, had to leave the band for various reasons. So I was always just trying to find people who I could like play with. And then Maddie and I actually ended up playing a show together when Pony was in its like original form. And that's how we met. But then a few years passed and we started dating. And the bass player from Pony, who's in the band at the time, Eva, she left Pony because she wanted to work on her own music. And then so Maddie was filling in on bass for a while, which is so weird to think about that's how it started. And then when we were in the studio to make our first full length, our guitar player quit while we were in the studio. And so
Oh no.
Maddie, yeah, it was like Pony is like always like so dramatic. We should have like a reality TV show. But so then Maddie jumped in and filled in on guitar. And then after then we just became like it was way more collaborative after that, where I would like kind of write a song and then Maddie would fill in the blanks. And now, especially since like we've both gotten a lot more into production, like I will write a song and leave like a lot blank because I know we're going to work on it together. So I won't try and like beat myself up to like send Maddie a finished song because I know that like whatever they do is going to make it so much better.
The guitar player quitting was on our first record, TV Baby, not Velveteen.
Yeah, not Velveteen. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was our first record.
Yeah, and speaking of that first record, like how was transitioning from like that from like TV Baby to like Chivoting, like how was the gap uh like between those like two records? Like I know that like you mentioned like in like past interviews that you like suffered with like of like insomnia. So like how like those like different like circumstances like of your lives and like your creative mindsets like at the time like came into like effect for like for writing the new record.
I feel like it was like the biggest change you could possibly experience.
Yeah. Like wait, what do you mean by that?
Our entire lives changed in
Oh,
between
yeah.
making the two records.
Yeah, like when we made the first record, it was like 4 or 3 people like in a room writing songs together, and then a lot of stuff changing in the studio, and then like having like so many different people mix the record, and like it was like kind of a nightmare going back and re-recording stuff. And then like the pandemic hit and I was like, cool, well, we'll never put this out. And then we started writing music just on our own, just for fun, just for like our podcast. And then we were approached by Joe, Take This to Heart, and he wanted to put out the first record, which was really cool, but also like a bit underwhelming to put a record out when like you can't play at
Can't
a show,
tour,
you
can't do
can't tour, you
anything.
Yeah.
can't do anything. It was just kind of like, well, we're throwing it out there. And then for writing Velveteen, we had basically spent like 2 years writing songs, so many songs,
And producing and yeah.
just writing different kinds of stuff that we had so much to choose from. And I was trying to write a record that wasn't so like autobiographical, because I was kind of like tired of like trauma mining, and like tired of or like
Well, we spent like 2 years just kind of like hyper self-focused.
yeah.
You're not seeing anybody, you're not doing anything. It's all, your entire life is just like autobiographical
Yeah,
content.
and I didn't want to write like a pandemic record that's like, here's a record about how I'm stuck at home just
God,
like
no.
everyone else.
I'm so tired of those.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we tried our best, I think, to kind of just like make songs that were inspired by different things, but obviously like through writing you kind of like you'll find yourself in whatever art you're making. So it was two completely different experiences, yeah, writing both those records.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm very like curious about, like, it's like how did like media, like of different forms, like influence your writing process. Like I know that that you both like really like uh uh television. That's like what the podcast is about. And like how did how does like media like outside of like music itself like shape your art?
I think like when you're consuming media and like the types of stories that you like, and I think this kind of applies to everybody probably, like it's art that you are seeing yourself in, or
Mhm.
like elements of it that you connect to. And writing music influenced by other sources of media, it's like you're just looking for these small elements of the story that like are the thing that you connect with,
Yeah.
that you see yourself in, and kind of like expanding out from there.
Mm-hmm. Or like a sliver, like a little tiny sliver of humanity that like you didn't expect. Like we talk all the time about the Halloween movies that Danny McBride he was remaking, and how there's just like these little snippets of like a son and a dad talking about like how like he's going to his dance class, and it's like letting the dad down because he wants him to be like hunting with him on the weekend or something. Like just like those like little moments that you see that are unexpected, that you're like, oh, that's like a story, there's a story there, like let's try and turn that into a song. Or like what like little tiny sliver of humanity is there that we can explore within this like episode of Seinfeld or whatnot. So it's like it's interesting and challenging because you are kind of like searching for yourself in something bigger than yourself.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna like go like a bit like further from like the studio, and like talk about like live music and like support from other artists. So I uh I discovered you guys because like how like last year during the summer, like you just like open for like so many like bands that like I'm like a fan of. Like I didn't like go to all those shows, but like I went, the one that I saw you guys at was at like at Boston at Deep Cuts supporting Teddy Hands and Evan who are like great artists that I've been looking up to for like a long time. Like how does like touring like how is touring for you? Like is there like any like specific like story they can like tell, or like how have you been like managing the road and since like your inception, like how's that been going?
Well, I think it's very different now. Like when we first started, before Matty was in the band, I was like so concerned about saving money on the road that like and I'm pretty sure I can probably say this, that this is probably why people quit the band, because I would like make us camp. Like we would play a show and then we would drive to a campsite and we would put up a tent and we would sleep outside and get bitten by bugs and like eat oatmeal that we made over the fire. Like it was so ridiculous. So things have definitely improved since then. I think like I really love touring because I love meeting people. I love making new friends and like I love watching people play. Like I think it's like a perfect opportunity to like fall in love with music that maybe you haven't heard before because you're like getting to see people play it every night. It's so
Mhm.
cool. We've really been so blessed because we've gotten to tour with so many cool bands that we love over the past few years. So we've been really lucky. But I don't know if I have like, do you have like a cool story?
Story. I don't know. I don't really know about stories. When last summer we did 2 nights in Brooklyn with the band Fucked Up at what was that place called?
Was it Brooklyn Made?
Yeah, I think so. Um, and when we got there, we were sitting in. This is like kind of our first. I think
It was
it
our
was our
first
first
tour.
support tour,
Yeah.
and it was our first tour like post pandemic. So we're sitting in our tiny little green room, and we're like, "Wow, this is like
We're like,
we
this
have our
is
own
so
room. This is
nice. Like,
amazing."
look at this. It's so there's bottled water here. Like we were all four of us were like flipping out, being like, this might be the nicest green room we've ever been in.
And then Mike from Fucked Up, the guitar player, walked through and he's like, "Come upstairs." And we went with them. And their green room was a 3-floor loft on top of the venue. With a pool and a big, like, humongous outdoor patio space.
And like a piano and like furniture and like food and like
It was so
was, like-
beautiful, like easily the most beautiful, the most beautiful house
Place.
I've ever been in.
it was like a
and
place that a
definitely the
rich
nicest
person
green
lives.
room.
Yeah, like
yeah,
it's like a place you see on like Architectural Digest YouTube or something.
yeah. And so we got to hang out there for 2 nights in a row, and that was really nice.
And we were all like, remember when we thought that other green room was cool?
And since then, we've been consistently humbled every single night.
Yeah. Nothing will ever top that, I
No.
think.
Man. But yeah, one thing that I also want to try is like how is the because like I actually go to like so many like shows in the like American like Northeast, but like how is like the like Ontario scene and like that like region like a fan of, like I have not like I've been to like Vancouver. That's like the one place like in Canada that I've been to, which is like the complete opposite like of Toronto. So like how is that scene? Like if you could like describe it in like a summarized way.
If I'm honest, I don't really feel like we're a part of it, like,
No, yeah, not really anymore. Like
ever.
or Canada is a very strange place to be.
It
It-
has its own industry and its own little world to that.
Yeah,
like,
and it's very much like we have government funding for music, which is amazing and wonderful, but you can really tell because like the funding will only go to specific bands. So like only specific bands will get enough money to be able to like produce their projects.
uh-huh.
So the scene is very like
I'd say it's
samey, like
it's a little feast or famine. Like,
Yeah,
if
like-
you're doing the right thing, you can get money, and then there's tons of like great Canadian artists doing something a little more interesting or a little more challenging that might not receive that sort of funding.
I feel
Yeah.
like we're really lucky right now because we moved to the Canadian city that borders Detroit. So we go to a lot of shows in Detroit and like I've never felt more welcomed by a music community than I have in Detroit. Like we'll go to shows and people be like, "Hey, Pony," like they'll recognize us. And I'm like, "I don't know who that is." But it's like it feels like more like supportive and like there are cool DIY spaces in Detroit and music just seems to be like more like less like of a
Has more of an
crabs in the
opportunity
bucket.
to thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's less of like a careerist thing as it is in Canada where people like can get a lot of money
Yeah.
to make music that all sounds the same.
But there are a lot of nice people in Canada who are fans of Pony, and I love them.
Mhm.
Just to be clear,
Yeah, we do love Canada.
I love the people who like us in Canada.
Yeah, so I wanted to like ask like a very specific question because like I follow you both on like social like recently like you're you know what I'm gonna talk about. Basketball. Like there you go. So how like has that come to be? Like how
What's the question?
basketball? Yeah. Can you like talk more about like that like recent uh obsession? Like we are here UConn we're like the best college basketball like team like of the nation on I forgot like which like agency said that but I'm not making it up. So like how did that sport come like into your lives? Like how has it like changed since?
It came kind of haphazardly. Like I spent my entire life from when I was like 12 until now, currently still being obsessed with skateboarding. Like that was my before music, that was the thing I loved. I always have. But now that we're touring again and playing music consistently, whatever, I didn't want to skateboard anymore because I would feel dumb breaking my arm and not being able to, whatever. So I think I was just kind of trying to fill that space in my brain. And one day I was like, I think I'm gonna try to watch basketball. And then I posted on Twitter and was like, how do I watch basketball? And some nice people DM'd me some links to some nefarious websites. And we started watching the Pistons, and we watched the first game, and it just clicked immediately. And like I've always grown up kind of adjacent to basketball and the Pistons because I'm from Windsor, which we're a 10-minute drive from Little Caesars Arena from our house. So it's always been around, but I just never like got particularly invested in it. But after watching that first game, we were both obsessed.
Yeah, and I went into it being like, I will be a supportive partner and I will sit beside you as you watch basketball. But there was just something about it and about like the lore of the Pistons specifically and this like losing streak and like seeing their devastated faces. Like I was just like, oh, like I'm really rooting for these guys. And then we've never really missed a game since, and now we play basketball or like we go to this indoor court community center pretty much every day.
Yeah, we've been to a few Pistons games. Yeah, like the first game ended and Sam was like, Cade Cunningham played really well tonight. And I was like, who? And that's when I knew we were locked in.
They're our friends now.
That's awesome. But yeah, so do you think that this will somehow translate your music in the future? Like is it like inevitable that is it gonna sort of bleed in? Has it already?
I've definitely written some lyrics that are basketball adjacent. I don't know if it'll ever come out, but I do hope that it does because I also feel like being a fan of basketball has also brought more friends into our lives.
For sure.
Or made us closer with people because it's this other thing you can pretty much before basketball, all we had was music. And
which can be kind of punishing and emotionally draining to think about all the time.
Even as a fan of music, when you're a musician, it's so sometimes it feels is everything transactional? Is everything networking? Is everything
work?
Just work?
Yeah.
But with basketball, it's I know I'm never gonna be a pro basketball player, so I'm just having fun. I'm just in it for the love of the game.
I haven't accepted that I'll never be a pro basketball player, so
there's still time.
Yeah.
There's still time.
But yeah, so we're sort of getting close to our half hour marks. I just want to ask what the future holds for Pony, and how do you think that you're gonna do stuff and live life in the following in the near future, how new music, more touring. I know that you guys are touring with Pale Lungs, which I hope that I can get just do live again. I think like Boston probably, But yeah, like how's the future looking?
Well, we just want to try and tour as much as we can. Whether that's like headlining or doing more support stuff, which we would love to do, just putting that out of the universe.
Uh-huh.
Don't be a coward, take us on tour.
Uh-huh.
And we're working on our next record right now. So we're going into the studio at the end of February to record a couple songs, just to like test out the waters, see like how we're feeling. And then when we're back from tour, then we'll like really get to work.
Lock
But,
in.
yeah.
Gotta do it.
Hopefully get to play the halftime show at a Pistons game.
That's the goal now.
Yeah, you gotta try. But yeah, I think that brings us to a close for now. If you're listening to this live, I'm probably gonna like play songs that are like I can only play. We have like a stupid like rule with like FCC stuff, or like you can only like play like 3 songs from like a given artist. Like I'm gonna play like 3 of yours and like other stuff that I think the listener might enjoy. But like
Cool.
can you guys like do like a little like a sign out a call before we go? Like so you have to say like our call sign, which is the WHUS stores, and like that, and like anything else they want to add, and then we're out of here.
We're Pony. Thank you for listening to WHUS Stores.
Bye.